Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Tazz, and of course, you are listening to the Intro Podcast. I'm excited to be able to bring you guys a little short show on today, just to let you guys know that we're still around. So before we get into that, let's go here. What's up, everybody? Again, thank you guys so much for being a part of today's show. Those of you who are listening and those of you who are watching us right now, I appreciate you guys for being a part of the live. If you want to be a part of our live show so that you'll be able to give us feedback, whether you want to call in or whether you want to get on video with us, we now have the capability of doing both. So we are excited about that. Of course, before we get into every show, I give you guys an update on what's going on in the life of your boy Tazz. Of course, we are still, we are fighting, and let me say it again, we are fighting with this Bell's palsy. You guys know, I think I'm on like my 5th or 6th month. And if you know me, you know I don't give up easy. Let me say it again. If you know me, you know I do not give up easy. So I am fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my health, and I'm fighting for my wealth. Today is Sunday. Well, actually, no, today is Monday, August 26th, but I'm going to talk about Sunday right fast. Saturday, I woke up to a text message from my son, and it was like the best text message I could ever imagine receiving. A little back history. On last year, my son got stabbed, and a guy tried to literally kill him, but God said no. But after my son got out of the hospital, for some reason, not even pointing blame and pointing fingers, because I really don't know what happened, but my son and I lost contact literally for a year. Literally 365 days plus, me and my son was not in contact. This year on the 4th of July, we went to my auntie's house, and I didn't know he was going to be there. He didn't know I was going to be there. But whenever he saw me, it was like an instant reconnection. We hugged and hugged and hugged, and we talked and we hugged and we talked a little more. Y'all know I'm fighting with stuff, so I'm not going to edit any of this stuff out, because I need you guys to hear me now, see me now, so that whenever I get to where God is taking me, you guys will understand my testimony then. So you guys are going to get every cough, every whatever. You guys are getting every bit of it, because I need this to be a testimony and a sign at the end that God can do it. However, so yes, me and my son, we reconnected the 4th of July of this year. Number one, I was just excited to see him moving around and being able to walk and being able to move, you know, just do his normal routine, because in him being stabbed, he lost his left kidney. 22, 23, 24 years old, something like that. I know I'm a bad father. But at that young, going through something that traumatic and losing a kidney, I know it had to be a hard situation for him. I remember going to the hospital almost every single day, seeing the tubes down his nose and the tubes down his mouth, and hearing them complain. And on the inside of me, I'm crying. Like when I say crying, I'm boo-hooing, but in his face, I have to be the strong, you know, I'm Pops. So I got to be strong. I can't show him that I want to beat the hell out of somebody. But, yeah, so after all that, something happened again and we lost contact for a couple of days. But Saturday night, I received a text message. I think it was Saturday night or Saturday afternoon or something like that. Out the blue, he sent me a text message and he asked me, he was like, "Pops, what is the address to your church? We want to go." We being him and his girlfriend B. Completely made my day Saturday, because even if they would not have went, I still would have been happy just to know that he still see me as that. But yesterday morning, Sunday morning, I woke up and I was texting them, letting them know what time I was going to get to church because I live in Dallas. My church is in Fort Worth, Texas, and I think they live in like Richardson or something, so they're a little bit further out than me. They had already been woke and they had already ate breakfast. They were dressed and they were literally ready to come out to church. And it excited me even whenever he told me, oh, we already getting dressed, we getting ready. Because in my mind, I was like, God, you about to do something ridiculous. It might not be an entire thing today, but you about to do something crazy. Because, one man plant the seed, another man water the seed, God gives the increase. I do believe the word. So I was excited and I drove and I got to church. This is the earliest I've ever gotten to church. I got there like right at 10 o'clock whenever they started, but I waited outside for my son and they got there and we hugged or whatever and we had to rush in because I had my duty I had to do for the ministry. Shout out to First Lady, Co-Pastor Otanya Allen for preaching on yesterday. There was something ridiculous in that service. I still don't understand it. I'm going to get her to talk about that. But I was able to look around in the balcony of the church and see my son and his girlfriend into the service, like really enjoying it. And it made me feel a certain kind of way because I have been praying and praying and praying that God would capture him all over again, because I know since he had been stabbed and probably even before then, he probably had lost his faith. He wasn't probably going to church or wasn't communicating with God. So I have been praying, literally, God, get his attention however you have to before the enemy try to attack him and take him out. So they went to church on yesterday, and afterwards, as black folk, you know what we do right after church? We went out to eat. We went to Cheddar's and we kicked it for a little while and talked. And I was excited just to hear both of them say, we enjoyed church and we're going back. His girlfriend was like, I enjoyed church and I'm going back, and I enjoyed it. And I haven't been to church in about 10 years. I don't know if that was a number that she just picked out of the sky or if that was the real thing. However, the fact, I was just happy and ecstatic that they enjoyed themselves at church on yesterday and that they want to come back. But she was like, they'll probably be every 2 weeks because that's a drive, in which it really is. So that gave me hope that, number one, my son still sees me as that guy. My son still sees me as the guy that when I need God, I can go to my pops. When I need to feel something, when I need that protection, when I need that confirmation, when I need to feel that wholeness again, I know I can go to my pops because my pops have a relationship and my pops is connected to people with a relationship. So that did me all the good in the world. Shout out to all the fathers that have vision for their sons and their daughters, but really their sons, and they're doing something about it. I really, really, really appreciate God for that. So yeah, that's the gist of what's going on in my life. But let's go to some news. Coming from Billboard.com, TLC concert is canceled after T-Boz is hospitalized. It reads, T-Boz has been forced to cancel two highly anticipated concerts due to a medical emergency involving T-Boz. The news came just hours before the group was set to perform at the New York State Fair on August 23rd. In a statement shared on Instagram stories, TLC's Chili revealed the details of T-Boz's sudden health crisis following a performance in Toledo, Ohio on August 22nd. Let me see if I could read it because it's a hella smile. Do I want to read all that? After delivering an electrifying performance in Toledo, Ohio on Thursday, TLC was eagerly anticipating their next stop at New York City State Fair in Syracuse. However, after arriving in Syracuse, T-Boz experienced sudden and severe nausea, vomiting, and intense abdominal cramps. She was immediately seen by a doctor and subsequently taken to the hospital for further evaluations. Other report says last evening, Tazz was diagnosed with a severe abdominal blockage, necessitating the cancellation of both the Syracuse and the Foxwood performances. She remains in the hospital under medical supervision, but is expected to be released on tomorrow. The doctor verified that this was not food poisoning, but an abdominal blockage. Tazz deeply regrets having to cancel these shows and extending her sincere apologies to all her fans and event promoters. The decision to cancel was made under the advisement of her physician, who required her to stay in the hospital overnight to undergo a CT scan to assess the severity of her condition. Lastly, TLC is committed to rescheduling the canceled shows and apologizes to all the fans, particularly those who travel the long distance to attend. The group appreciates the understanding and the support of everyone. We do know that Tazz has been dealing with the sickness since forever. So we want to continue to pray for her health. Not just for her healing, but for her health. Because we understand that what she does in TLC, it's just something she's been doing forever. So I'm pretty sure that this is definitely still a passion for her. So we want to pray that she gets better and that they are able to go back into the tour or into the performances that they have scheduled in the upcoming days, weeks, months, or whatever. We appreciate you guys for listening to the intro podcast. I'm your boy Tazz. We have some more good news coming up, but also in the meantime, I want to let you guys know we are getting ready to launch a new podcast, which is going to be called Faith in It, which is a podcast for the Christian folk, or not even just the Christian folk. Why did I say that? Faith in It is a podcast for those who need to be inspired. Those who are searching for something, have questions, or going through things and just need to know how to come out on the other side. Simple as that. People need to understand that they are not the only people who are going through what they've gone through. So we are taking a plethora of topics and we're talking about how to have faith in every single one of them. That's faith in divorce, faith in sickness, faith in rejection, faith in addiction, how to have faith in all of these things, because in order to overcome things that we're going through now, we're going to have faith. We're going to have to believe that we are going to be able to come out of this all, because if we don't have faith, we won't be able to see it. And if we're unable to see it, we're just going to go through it. And it makes no sense to just have to go through it because we can't see it. So we're going to teach about faith, so that we could all get on one accord and so that we could all believe that at the end of everything that we go through, we have the victory, because it is a fixed fight. Don't forget that. It is definitely a fixed fight. However, it's your boy Tazz. This is the intro podcast. We will be right back right after. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Tazz, and we are back with the intro podcast. Thank you guys so much for being a part of today's show, whether you are listening or watching. We just appreciate you for doing pretty much either one of them. Next up, there's a case that has been going on. I heard through the Breakfast Club, DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God, Just Hilarious, and I wanted to touch on it on my show. Check this out.
You'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
What started out as an informational field trip with the greeting of Detroit nonprofit Tuesday to the 36th District Court in front of Judge King quickly turned into Judge King getting visibly agitated over a sleeping student in his courtroom.
You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, I'm putting you in the back, understood?
Judge King had her removed from the courtroom, but he told me that didn't fix her, quote, attitude. And that's when he pulled out the jail uniform and handcuffs. King says he was trying to teach the teenager a lesson on behavior and respect in court.
I haven't been disrespected like that in a very long time.
Oh,
He then threatened the girl with jail time.
I'm going to go to sleep tonight while you're sitting in the juvenile detention facilities.
Was I really going to do that? Probably not. Could I have? Probably so.
legendary.
Charlamagne say, legendary sucker move. I don't even think that's legal to even put someone in jail because they're falling asleep. Judge, come on. Anyway, let's go a little bit deeper.
That mom says she was horrified to see her daughter in handcuffs and says Judge King didn't have the full story.
Would you want someone to treat your child like that? Would you even treat your child like that if he fell asleep in the courtroom?
Latoria Hill is a single mother of 2 children, including her oldest daughter, Eva Goodman. She signed her up for a summer program with the Greening of Detroit nonprofit to keep her busy. What was supposed to be an educational field trip to 36 District Court Tuesday turned into a traumatizing experience for both of them. Judge Kenneth King, not liking Eva's attitude and seeing her falling asleep, placing her in handcuffs and a jail uniform. Latoria says Eva was falling asleep because the family does not have a permanent residence at the moment. They're just trying to make ends meet.
I'm a single mother. I'm trying my best. So the fact that he was talking about you go home and get in your bed, how do you know my baby got a home?
God.
How do you know my baby got a bed, her own bed that she can sleep in? She don't have that right now.
So yes, I played all of that because number one, we need to see how people are in the world today. And that's just not a natural person, y'all. That is a black judge who did that to a young black girl. I understand what Michael Rubin was talking about a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to say that with this current situation, with this particular case, Judge, you're definitely out of order. It could have been resolved in another way. You could have called her up and, asked her what the problem was. And if she would have actually trusted you enough to tell you what the issue was, it actually probably you would have reacted differently in that you probably would have really wanted to try to help her and her family. But because you are so ego driven and ass backwards, you went to the first thing that you can come up with, and it's her being disrespectful to you in court. And you said you've never been this disrespected before. I'm pretty sure that's a lie. I'm pretty sure that you've had some grown-ass people in your court that have said some things or done some things to you worse than falling asleep. Especially if you're a criminal prosecutor, if you're a criminal judge. You've had some people say some things in your court, but you can't flex on them like you actually tried to flex on this little girl. You need help, Judge. Your ego needs help. And if I'm not mistaken, after he found out, or after the mother came out and said that she was sleeping because she was tired because they didn't have a place to live permanently, if I'm not mistaken, the judge got a paid leave. I'm sorry, you don't deserve a paid leave. You humiliated this young lady, number one, in front of her classmates. You traumatized her to where every time she think about a judge or she think about court or she think about a cop, she's going to always remember this moment right here. She's traumatized. If anything, you need to be trying to figure out how you can start a GoFundMe and put money in the account for the family to get a place to stay. That's the only thing you can do, in my eyes, to come from this point of where you are now. I pray for the Till family that everything is good and everything is better. But if it's not, I'm going to search social media myself, and I'm going to search GoFundMe myself to see if there is an actual GoFundMe for the family to get a place to stay, because I don't know what the temperature is where they are, but here in Dallas right now, during the day, whenever it's 100 degrees, feeling like 118 degrees, this is no weather for anybody to be homeless. I remember, I want to say Friday or Saturday, I was out at Walmart, and I walked out, and there was a young man with all of his clothing and things in a basket, and he didn't even have to ask me for money. I just, I had literally just left from cashing a check or whatever. So I purposely kept some money in my wallet so that if I saw someone that I can bless them. So I went over and I gave him a couple of dollars, and he was telling me, he was like, I'm just trying to get X amount of dollars so that me and my 3 kids can get a room. I went on social media immediately. I need help. This man and his kids need a place to stay. It's like 100,000 degrees outside, and they need a place to go. Judge, right now, the only thing that you can do for me in my eyes, and probably in the eyes of everybody else in America, an apology is not enough. And no, we don't want your mentoring, because if your mentoring is anything like what you do in court, you are I'm not going to say that, but you suck. You suck majorly, because you should have some kind of something about you that would have allowed you to handle this situation differently. Yes, you definitely need to apologize to the little girl, but you need to apologize to every other student that was in that courtroom on that day that may be affected by what you done to this little girl. And little girl, if you ever hear this show, or if somebody ever tag you on social media, because we're going to be posting, I pray that you and your family have the best life ever. And I'm not talking about a long time from now. I'm talking about like within a couple, whatever, that God would breathe into y'all life and breathe finances and cause people who your mom has helped in the past to come back and help them. And people who have heard this story on the radio, people who have heard this story on social media, find you guys and bless y'all. Judge, again, you need help, bro. And like Charlemagne said, line him up for the fade. I know she got some uncles, some brothers, some people who can take care of this, because this made no sense at all. Your ego is that soft that just because this little girl fell asleep in your court, you start tripping. Bro, come on. It's not that serious. But anyway, this is your boy Tazz. You are listening to the Intro Podcast. We'll be right back right after this. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tazz, and you are back with the Intro Podcast. Once again, let me thank you guys for listening, being a part of today's show. Those of you who are listening to us and those who are watching us live at the same time, who's interacting, we appreciate you guys for doing so. I'm having so much fun. Shout out to Rhodes, Rodecaster Pro. Shout out to Shure for some wonderful equipment that has completely upgraded the sound and the look and the feel of the Intro Podcast. I'm excited about all of it. Do me a favor, if you are listening, even if you're listening after the show, you can do this. Do me a favor and just share the link to this show on your timeline in or on your social media. Today's show is sponsored by Diane Klein's, an independent associate with Legal Shield, offering legal services starting at $29.95 a month and identity theft starting at $19.95. They also provide a living will, assist with moving violations, contract reviews, consultations, and much more. For anything you need to know about that, contact Diane Kleins at 214-881-5225 or go to dskleins.ladiesofjustice.com. Okay, let's talk about something good, because the other story just got me down. Let's talk about it. Okay, picture this. Some way, somehow, you bagged Rihanna and you had 2 kids. And the crowd goes crazy. Yeah, you deserve this cheer right here, A$AP Rocky. You deserve this because you done what a lot of people wish they could have done, huh, Drake? I ain't say that, my bad. I did say that, and I meant every bit of it. A$AP Rocky recently sat down with People Magazine to talk about, everything that's going on in his life. A$AP Rocky reveals how he's making sure his and Rihanna's kids have normal childhoods, because, hey, they're just normal human beings, right? The rapper is dad to RZA, age of 2, and Riot Rose, 12 months. A$AP Rocky is making sure his kids have as normal as a childhood as possible. Speaking to Billboard for their September cover story, the rapper, 35 years old, pushed back at the idea his kids wouldn't be able to live the same childhood he did. Rocky, born Rakeem Mayers, spent his childhood in Harlem and returned to his neighborhood in the video shared on the Billboard's TikTok. You can follow them to look at those videos. Yes, they do, Rocky said of his kids leading a normal childhood despite having famous parents. He said, man, let me show you a little bit of RZA from last night, bro. Look at this right here. The rapper then pulled out a video of his 2-year-old son, RZA, walking and playing along the streets of Soho. They still human. They human beings, he added. This is him last night, Rocky said, jokingly adding, walking to the corner store. I want to ask a question. Is this possible? Can your mom be Rihanna and your father be A$AP Rocky? But even more, can your mom be Rihanna and you have a normal life to where you can go outside and play with the neighborhood kids and walk to the corner store and go to a normal school? Like, is it possible that you can successfully raise your kids as normal people whenever your parents are some of the most famous people in the whole entire world? I don't know. I understand the parents today, some celebrities want to teach their kids the be natural, be ordinary, work for it type thing. Nothing in the world is going to be given to you. I'm good. I understand that. But at the same time, I don't think it's possible for them to, quote unquote, have that normal life to where, let's just say, they can't play with the kids in my neighborhood. I'm sorry. The kids in my neighborhood would run completely over them. But even more, with them being children of famous people, their mom and dad being as famous as they are, paparazzi would never let them, have peace. Paparazzi would never let them walk from here to Circle K or from here to QT to get a soda and come back, or go to the playground or go to the swimming pool without having a camera in their face, without asking them a million questions, even as children, as kids, which is, I understand paparazzi, you have a job to do. But sometimes people just want to chill and not have to deal with all of that stuff. Oh my God, because it's ridiculous. It's literally stuff that if we could avoid in life, we would avoid y'all at all power, paparazzi, because y'all be determined sometime, and that is irritating as hell. But what do you think? Can these kids live like A$AP Rocky grew up in Harlem? I doubt seriously Rihanna's gonna let these kids go back to Harlem or go to Harlem and run around with these Harlem Knights, these Harlem kids that's rough around the edges and rough in the middle and rough in the center. I don't think that Rihanna is going to ever allow that. And in some cases, I don't even think they should, because as parents, it's our job to work as hard as we do to make sure our kids can avoid certain situations or to afford them an opportunity to do things that we did not get to do whenever we were kids. So because they work as hard as they do now, and in previous years, they've worked hard to be able to give their kids a life in Soho, to give their kids a life in Beverly Hills, to where they are exposed to the better things in life. Of course, no, we're not just going to give you everything you want, though. You're going to work for it whenever it's time to do so. You're going to go to school. You're going to go to college. And because the thing is, you may not want to have anything to do with the music industry. So because, that may be it. we're going to allow you to have as normal life as possible. But because they've been working as hard as they have been working in their life, whether it's music, whether it's Rihanna with Fenty and A$AP doing all the things that he's done, we work hard enough for you not to have to be exposed to certain things, right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but let me know what you think. Can these kids live normal? Get at us on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under the Intro Podcast. Let us know what you think. It's your boy Tazz. We'll be right back after this. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tazz, and you are listening to the Intro Podcast. I've enjoyed myself today. It's been a pretty good show. A shout out once again to Roadcaster, and for Shure, we got some new equipment which has completely given a facelift to everything that we do here at the Intro Podcast. So I'm excited about that. In the near future, I will be bringing in my new guest host. You know her from the Broken for Purpose podcast, but she's also been a guest on here before, Ms. Glennette Nelson. She's going to be in the house. I'm excited to have her join us on the show. Also in the near future, we will be launching our new podcast called Faith in It. I want to announce my executive producer who's going to be working on the project with me, but I can't right now. But I'm excited about it, though. I'm so excited about it. It's unbelievable. Do me a favor again. Follow us on social media under the Intro Podcast. Follow me, myself. I am Trevayne, Trevayne, for some good music. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think about today's show, the topics that we spoke about, so that we could air them on the next show. Those of you who are watching, again, I appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for being a part of today. I think I'm probably going to be doing another show today also. Depends on what's trending whenever we get up or what information we get in our inbox. DFW time right now, it is 5:32 a.m. Yes, it really is. My closing thought is this. Going back to the story of the judge. Before you judge someone, figure out or talk to them and ask questions. Because maybe the way they are is because of a situation that they can't control. Maybe they're mad, or maybe they're sad, or maybe they're sleepy, or maybe whatever their maybe is probably something that they can't control. But if you take out the time and talk to them, you may be able to do so. Of course, I'm not going to leave today's show and not mention this election that's coming up is one of the most important elections of your life. They say it every year, but this year even more, because this election, I believe, is going to be as important 8 years later, 12 years later. This election here, because we have some people on the other side who are trying to take everything that we African Americans, or me as a part of the LGBTQ, women with their bodies, jobs and health care and education, they're trying to take everything away from us. And I know people are always quick to ask or quick to say we don't like Kamala Harris because of what happened whenever she was in California or whatever. Do some research on those things, and you just may find out that what you heard and the reason why you don't like her is illegitimate, because it's not even true. Some people are willing to draw conclusions about you without ever even asking or without ever even doing an investigation. Don't allow people to do it to you, but even more, don't do it to Kamala Harris. Don't do it to Tim Walz. I honestly believe that this is the perfect pair for the presidential seat and the vice president this upcoming election. I want to give a special shout out to the homie Gus, which is Tim Walz's son. He has a learning disorder or something like that, but I want to give him a shout out because while Tim Walz was talking or giving his speech at the DNC, Gus took me out and had me crying like a little baby because Gus was up. He was like, that's my dad up there. That's how you can tell the relationship between him and his father is real. And the relationship between Walz and his father was real. Because, look, that kind of love you don't see. You don't see none of Trump's kids. You don't ever see Trump's wife. You don't see nobody on the Republican side give that kind of love. As a matter of fact, they attacked Gus and talked about him because of his disorder or whatever his situation is. They talked about him bad. But Gus, you cool with me. And I watched the video on TikTok. This guy said, if you mess with Gus, you mess with me. I second that. You mess with Gus, I'm going to find you and I'm going to talk about you. And if we have to meet in the street, give me 15 seconds and we going to go for it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to the intro podcast on today. Do me a favor and share this show with everybody that you know. And we'll be right back with some more shows. So, hey, I just thank you guys for following. I thank you guys for being a part. I thank you guys for the emails, for all the messages. I am just ecstatic, and I want to take out the time to thank y'all. Hey, and the best is yet to come. We have some good stuff coming up, especially now that we have all of this equipment. We have some good stuff coming up. So don't forsake us. Don't stop listening to us. I need y'all to listen to us, but I need y'all to share what you guys hear as well. But I want to thank you guys once again for being a part of today's show. It's your boy Tazz. And again, this is the Intro Podcast.